Let's break down XRP and XLM, and by the end of this video, you're going to know how these two big players could rewrite the rules of finance. So let's take it back to 2012. Bitcoin was trading at just $13, and most people assumed it was just magical internet money. But one person, Jed McCaleb, envisioned a different future. After selling his exchange, Mt. Gox, he had a bigger vision: to make international money transfers as simple as sending an email. This concept resulted in the birth of Ripple, XRP, and the XRP ledger. But here's where things get interesting. Just 2 years later, Jed quits Ripple and launches Stellar, XLM, and Hyperledger. For some reason, he goes the other way, but you'll find out why that matters later. But let's start with Ripple. So, Ripple has an amazing tale. Consider the present international banking system. It's old, rusty, crappy, costs a lot of money to send money over it. That's what SWIFT is. SWIFT hasn't been upgraded since the 1970s. And Ripple examined this system and concluded they could do it better. When a bank wants to send money overseas using traditional methods, first the bank has to pre-fund accounts in that opposite country, right? And they're going to have to hold that counterparty's currency. These are called Nostro Vostro accounts. And that locks up about $27 trillion in the current banking system, holding counterparty currencies that may be hyperinflating, which most people don't want to do. This is where Ripple comes in. Ripple uses XRP and completely removes the need for that. So banks can move money quickly using their technology, and it eliminates those Nostro Vostro accounts, freeing up $27 trillion around the world that banks can use for other reasons. XRP's transactions settle in just 3 to 5 seconds. It costs less than a penny to send $1 million. Compare that to Bitcoin's 10-minute and traditional banking systems of 3 to 5 days. While Bitcoin can send 5 to 10 transactions per second, the XRP ledger can process up to 1,500 transactions per second. Now let's get technical, but I promise to keep things simple for you, okay? So Ripple uses something called a consensus protocol. Consider it like an extremely efficient voting method. Instead of using miners to solve complicated math problems like Bitcoin does, Ripple uses validators to vote on transactions. And this is why some people call it a banker's coin. And it's also why banks like it. We can't discuss Ripple without addressing the elephant in the room, the SEC case. This was filed in December of 2020. The SEC came after Ripple, alleging that XRP was an unregistered security. However, as you know, the judge ruled that XRP was not a security when offered to retail investors, and with a new administration taking office, the market believes that this case will be resolved very shortly, which